everybody, and welcome to Heel Heat. My name is George Coles, and on this episode, we're reviewing New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong, episode 107. Now, if you haven't seen my shows before, we rate everything on a 1 to 5 scale. 1 is the worst, 5 is the best. Let's jump right into this. We get the first match of the show, Adrian Quest versus Peter Avalon. This was a good opener. I enjoyed this a little bit. Again, a little bit surprised again. For the second week in a row, it feels like there's a couple times on the show, or at least this match on the show, where it doesn't feel so much New Japan centric. Adrian Quest, they both have wrestled on New Japan Strong before, but it doesn't feel like they're members of the New Japan Strong roster, if that makes sense to you. I thought this was a good opener. I liked it. Peter Avalon picks up the win here. I'm going to give this one a 3. Coming from that, we get a Jordan Cruz and Cody Chun, which I've seen both of these guys have been on New Japan Strong. I don't think they've ever teamed before. I believe Ian Riccaboni said that this was their first teaming. I enjoyed them. They're going up against the returning JR Kratos and Tom Lawler, who are back from the G1. Tom Lawler and Kratos, part of Team Filthy, both mainstays of New Japan Strong, both, I would say, 2 of the stars that have been built on New Japan Strong. Tom Lawler had a fantastic G1 and only raised his stock in the world of New Japan. He was already, if not the ace of New Japan Strong, him and Fred Rosser are the 1 and 2, kind of like Okada and Tanahashi were at one point. This is a good match again. Obviously, Lawler and Kratos pick up the win on this one. I'm giving this one a 3. I thought it was pretty good. Next up, we go into the main event of the show, which is an 8-man tag team match. We get Kushida, Trent Beretta, Rocky Romero, and Taylor Rust versus Chase Owens, Juice Robinson, Hikuleo, and Jay White representing Bullet Club. This was a really good match. Now, this is a match where you get some guys like Kushida, who's returned, Taylor Rust, who's done a lot on New Japan Strong, Rocky Romero, who's integral to New Japan Strong, and Trent Beretta, who are Roppongi Vice, one of the great junior tag teams in New Japan over the last decade or so. Then you got the Bullet Club, possibly the biggest faction in the history of New Japan. They're not quite as big in the zeitgeist as they were a few years back, but I do think they're doing some really great work, especially this year. Jay White is phenomenal. Jay White is one of the best wrestlers in the world right now. He has elevated his game to levels where he's right up there with Okada, with anybody you want to put in the world. Jay White is right there in the conversation to be one of the best wrestlers in the world. Chase Owens, always solid, always feels like he's that one stable force in Bullet Club. Hikuleo continues to improve. Juice Robinson, I have to say, and I'm going to be perfectly honest, I feel a little bit underwhelmed since his heel turn. I haven't really got that he's that different of a character, that his heel character is as strong as maybe they want it to come off as, and maybe I'm wrong. He's had some health issues, so maybe he just hasn't had the real time to really flesh out the Bullet Club version of Juice Robinson. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt because Juice Robinson, going from CJ Parker to transforming into what he became as Juice Robinson, really blew away my expectations. Not that I dislike CJ Parker. I just think he took a character that was going to be a one-off goof character, and then he blew it up and made something totally different to become one of the most credible wrestlers in the world. At one point a U.S. champion, at one point a tag team champion. So kudos to him, and I'm going to say it's incomplete now on his turn. I do feel like I don't see the why he's in Bullet Club. I don't see the importance of it, but hopefully the story will continue and we'll get a better idea of why and how he changes and how he improves, because I do feel that a lot of being invited and joining Bullet Club elevates some people. Some people it hasn't. Some people it's definitely done wonders for. Jay White in Bullet Club is way further than he would have ever been in any other stable. I don't think he would have got there in Chaos. He would have always been Okada's second. I don't think if he would have done something like Ospreay's doing with the United Empire, I don't think it would have took off and had the caveat that Bullet Club has. So there are some people like him that it's absolutely helped. And I'm hoping Juice gets that way. And I know I'm going off on a little bit of a tangent here, but just a kind of a state of Juice Robinson. This is a really fun match. I really enjoy these multi-man matches. I have to say, New Japan has a way to make these thrown together, shouldn't work matches feel important, feel special, be fun to watch. This was interesting. The story on this is towards the end, Hikuleo and Jay White have a little bit of miscommunications. Jay seems to get frustrated with Hikuleo. The Bullet Club team does pick up the win. After we see Ishimori come out, Taiji Ishimori, Bone Soldier, they attack Kushida. Basically, Jay White says, "Welcome back to New Japan," when he grabs a microphone. Talks up the tensions between him and Hikuleo, mentioning Tama Tonga, who eliminated him from the G1 Climax. Sowing a little bit of the seeds of dissension in this. I don't think it's going to go anywhere. I think it's going to come to a point where Hikuleo's going to have to choose between Jay and Tama, and he's going to stick with Jay, and we're going to see. And he's already made that choice, but we haven't seen it in a match. And I think that's what this is going to lead to. It's not going to lead to Hikuleo breaking off. I don't think, and this is not a knock on him, I don't think he's a strong enough character to break off on his own or even join with his brothers. At this point, I think he would be best served staying in Bullet Club. Overall, I'm going to give that match a 4. I thought it was really good. Overall for the show, I'm probably going to give it a high 3. Well, if I did halves, I'd probably say a 3.5. So I'd say a high 3. Not quite a 4. Not one of the better shows that they put on, but still a quality show, still worth catching. I really enjoyed it. I love seeing Tom Lawler and how much he's evolved and how much his character work has grown exponentially. I love seeing, guys like Jay White in America, Kushida. I love Kushida back in New Japan where he should have always been. It feels right. This was just a fun show. Again, as I say it every week, New Japan Strong is the most consistently good show there is in pro wrestling, and my favorite show to review every week, and my favorite show to watch as far as wrestling every week. I thought it was really good. Again, overall, I'm going to give it a 3, but it's a high 3. With all that being said, smash that like button, share, comment, subscribe if you haven't, and if you've made it to the end, let's put Switchblade in the comments for Jay White. I know I probably said that before, but let's put Switchblade in the comments because it's always a treat to get to see Jay White on these shows. With all that being said, my name is George Coles, and this has been my review of New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong, episode 107.